Do you have any conspiracy theories about ancient Egypt? No?
Just whatever the current one is.
Do you have any opinions? Do you have any conspiracy about anything? Because I don't either, but I just want to know, like, conspiracy theories.
I mean, I'm always down for some aliens.
Do you think aliens exist?
Fuck yeah.
Really?
Oh, dude,
Where
just
they at
reminded me.
then?
There's a fucking great manga. I can't wait for it to be adapted. It's called Dandadan. Dandadan is so fucking funny.
Bro.
So basically the concept is main dude character believes in aliens. Main female character believes in like spirits, ghosts, or whatever.
Yeah.
So then they both go to like these different locations where one's like alien sightings and one is like for like ghost sightings.
Yeah.
Guess what? They're both real in this world.
Okay.
And just fucking chaos ensues.
Okay.
Like the dude gets his dick stolen by a fucking ghost.
Excellent.
His dick and balls got stolen by a ghost.
Dick and balls get stolen. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
The aliens.
Oh,
They
he
just try to do very inappropriate things to
So it's
women.
dick and balls? Oh, just to women?
But it's fucking hilarious.
Really? Okay.
It's just chaos.
Okay.
It's kind of like ghosts and aliens in a way are the same but different.
Yeah. I can see that.
Like there's a lot of times where people are like, oh, the ghost sightings, but it's an alien.
Aliens. Okay.
But then sometimes, aliens are ghosts. It's interesting.
Okay.
But it's so funny.
Okay.
But like literally, yeah, he gets his dick and ball stolen. He gets his dick back, but his balls are still missing. So they're trying to
that's
search for his ball.
Oh my gosh.
So funny.
It sounds like damn, what's that? Rick and Morty episode or something.
Hey, I could maybe see, even though I've
Yeah.
never watched Rick and Morty.
Really? I think you like. Maybe.
I'm never gonna watch it.
It's like anime.
They're making it into a fucking anime.
It would be fire.
No,
Absolutely fire.
no.
Don't say no. It will be
I'm so
absolutely
tired
fire.
of this shit.
It'll be absolutely
Just
fire.
let things be what they are.
Why?
They're just making it because of fucking had to fire the voice actor. They're like, okay, let's go to another language.
That shit is gonna be 5 year straight heat.
Why?
Because it's already good as a cartoon.
Keep it as a cartoon.
I mean, we're not gonna act like anime and cartoon are not similar.
They're different.
But they're different. But we're not gonna act like they're just totally
Different process.
different thing. I don't care.
The way animated
be-
cartoons are on the West are done completely
Listen,
different.
listen. I completely get what you're saying.
Different workflow.
I completely get what you're saying. Completely get. Let's just not act like they're not similar. Let's not act like they're not.
Well, if
the
you want to
same-
go down that argument, all of fucking media is similar.
stop it.
Live
Let's
action
stop it.
similar.
Let's stop it. Let's stop it.
You still do shot lists.
Come on,
You do
Evan.
all the same process. It's
Evan,
still there.
Evan.
The only reason is there's
Different.
flesh
It's
and
too-
blood.
it's too totally.
There is a lot of overlap in all of this shit. Come on, bro.
Okay, sure, but anime
That's like
cartoon.
comparing different music genres. What the fuck?
No, that's like comparing R&B. That's not. No, it's
It's
like
like comparing jazz and rap. It's
No, it's
a
not.
similar.
No, it's
it's a
not.
similarity.
It's like
but filler
comparing.
shit.
It's like comparing. Ooh, we gotta make a good comparison. It's like comparing. It's like comparing. Like, it's comparing two similar genres. It's like comparing. It's hard to because there's no similar genres. I mean, there's similar genres that overlap. It's like comparing R&B pop to pop or whatever. I don't know. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to do with the music thing. It's like comparing cartoon and anime. Similar.
fucking different.
Okay, so the overlap that they have is the same overlap that cartoon has with live action. Yes or no?
It's fucking same
No.
situation. It's
No, Evan.
it's fucking similar. Goddamn.
They're more similar than anime or live action.
This is
or
all
cartoon
Venn
animation.
diagrams over here, you motherfucker.
I'm just saying we're not gonna act like they don't share similar people that like it, similar audiences. We're not gonna act like that's not true. We're just not gonna act like that.
You're talking to a weeb who doesn't really watch cartoons.
We're not gonna act like people that didn't watch fucking what's that?
You're
What's that Cartoon
disrespecting the
Network?
weebs.
What's that Cartoon Network show called? Cartoon Network
Dig your
shows.
grave.
Cartoon Network shows and Dragon Ball Z. Literally, Dragon Ball Z was airing on fucking Cartoon Network.
Okay, and
Listen,
that proves nothing.
listen. I get what you're doing. I get it.
That still proves
I
nothing.
get what you're doing. You are an anime enthusiast, so you're gonna
What's
fight
your favorite? Why do you love enthusiast? You
because
love that word.
I just the second time listen saying it. So I get.
It's like I love seeing this. It's only my second time.
So I get what you're doing.
Fucking grinning.
I completely get what you're doing.
You're fucking grinning. Enthusiast.
Let me make my point, goddammit.
No,
Because I'm right.
no, because I don't care about your point.
I get what you're doing.
What,
you
gaslighting?
love anime, so you're gonna fight with that shit. I respect it. Trust me, I respect it.
I have a lighter in there if you want to gaslight.
I'm not gaslighting. I respect what you're doing. I completely respect what you're doing.
No, I'm gaslighting is what I'm saying.
I forgot where I was making this point for.
Exactly. 'Cause your point sucked.
Oh, because Rick and Morty, that should be fire. That's the anime. Why? You haven't even seen an episode of Rick and Morty.
Okay.
So give me an example. Give me a reason why.
I made it the fuck up.
And this is why I win these arguments, guys. This is why I win.
You didn't win shit.
This is why I win. I always win. Okay. To you, which
Where's
is
the
fine.
judge?
I'm the judge.
Conflict of interest. Fuck out of here.
That should be fire. I'm not
No.
that should be fire.
I'm not watching it.
It's gonna be fire because anime is fire in general. So if they make
Says the man who hasn't watched anime since 2015.
no, it's not. I haven't watched anime since when I was 15. I watched anime like 20 last year. Or
The fuck did you watch last year?
I don't know.
You already said you didn't watch anything.
I watch anime, but I don't like remember like every detail about the anime. Like I watch it and it's cool, but then I forget about it. Especially the names because sometimes the names are like I just like in different languages I can't really like read or
Most of the time they convert it.
huh?
Most of the time they translate it.
Yeah, but when they translate it, it's like some like machine lion
We were talking about
pass
like
through.
fucking isekai light novel adaptions where the fucking title is literally a synopsis.
But I feel like a lot of animes are like that where the titles are like
If it's from isekai light novels, it is.
but like a lot of like Sword Art Online. I mean, the title was
that's
easy.
the isekai.
Yeah, I'm saying the title is easy to say, but I'm not gonna if I didn't like it or like really like it like that and memorize it, I'm not gonna remember Sword. Like there's all types of Sword Art Onlines. The only one I know is literally Sword Art
first season.
Online. But I've seen other Sword Art Onlines like
Sword.
Sword Art. I've seen other ones.
Sword.
I've seen other ones where they have different names like Sword Art Online, blah 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 blah, or
Yeah.
blah blah blah. But I don't be remembering. But I've definitely watched anime like last year.
You ever watch Psycho Pass?
I think we talked about it before. I don't think so.
I think you would like it
I think we'll like a lot of anime you recommend.
because it literally involves fucking like artificial intelligence and shit.
Yeah. I think I would like a lot of anime you recommend.
Yeah, but you're never gonna watch it.
I mean, I gotta be in the mood now to watch it.
And then you're gonna tell me there's an overlap between cartoons and anime.
100%.
Says the man who doesn't watch either.
100%. I watch. I'm not watch,
You've watched, but that doesn't mean you
but
watch
but
it.
I also will watch.
Past tense.
I also will,
You watched it.
but I also will watch. I'm not.
I will when you actually do. We can have this
But
discussion.
no, here's the difference. You've not going to even remotely accept watching any type of thing like live action or whatever. I will. I will watch anime. I'm not opposed to it. I like
I never
it.
said I wouldn't watch live action.
Okay, then why don't you watch live
I
action?
don't have time.
Okay.
You told me to focus on one thing.
Yeah, sure. Let's cope with that.
Yeah.
That's how you cope. I guess.
You told me to focus on one thing, so I'm focusing on one thing.
When have you listened to me?
Huh?
When have you ever listened to me?
Not very often.
Exactly. So
It's one thing.
no, you
You said focus on one thing. I focused on that one thing you ever told me.
you're trying to win an argument.
And
I'm pissed off at you because I can't believe you don't think there's no overlap between cartoon and anime.
no, I'm not saying there's not, but I'm also saying there's an overlap between live action and both.
But I'm saying there's more overlap between cartoon and anime than there is live action and cartoon.
What?
or
Just
live
because it's
action
not a human being?
anime. No, because the mediums are similar. Like there's overlap between those two.
Yeah, there's overlap between all three. That's my point.
But there's more overlap between those two. There's more
In
of a
what way?
similarity. They're both drawn.
Just because it's
They're-
not human?
No, they're both drawn.
Not necessarily.
Okay, they're both
Cartoons
animated. They're both
nowadays, they don't
animated.
even draw
They're
them.
both animated. That's
Okay.
all the overlap you need. They're both,
That's it? That's all you have?
yes, they're both animated. They're both.
That's all you have.
Yes, that's all.
Hey, guess what?
That's all I need.
Transformers had more animation than most fucking animated films.
Okay, the CGI. I mean, of course, their CGI is, but it's mixed in with live action. It's mixed in with live action.
All
it's
the
not.
characters,
It's not fully animated. It's not
all
fully
those
animated.
characters are fully animated.
But
all of those Transformers characters fully
but the
animated.
movie's not. The movie's not.
What? Just because the main character is a dude?
No, because it's in the real world.
Just because Mark Wahlberg's standing there?
No, because
I'm pretty sure his biceps are CGI too.
because it's in the real world. The whole thing is not animated. Like how
It's in
cartoons.
the real world.
Yes.
Where fucking
It's shot on a
there's
real camera.
fucking robot aliens.
It's shot on a real camera.
When you're doing
yes.
CGI, you have a CGI camera too, by the
Okay,
way.
but it's shot on a real camera. It's not everything's not computer generated like how anime or cartoon or drawn. Like how both. Okay. It's you can't win this
But the
argument.
fucking process is
can't-
still the same.
You can't win this
The
argument.
entire prep process is still the fucking same.
You can't. Okay, I'm not
But what
talking
I'm
about the
telling
process.
you is your only argument is, oh, these have people, these do not. These are more overlap than this. But it's like,
Yes.
they're all have the same. Literally, Disney films, all of that shit was based on how live action. They literally videotaped
Evan.
all the shit and drew it.
Evan, I can't
That's
believe.
how they did all those motions.
Evan, I'm sorry.
I'm telling you.
I'm sorry. Listen,
motherfucker.
I hear you. I hear you. But I cannot believe you don't think there's more similarity between cartoon and anime than cartoon and
They're just different
oh my
overlaps.
gosh.
That doesn't
Oh my
necessarily.
gosh.
That does not necessarily mean there's more overlap.
oh my gosh.
The
oh my
entire
gosh.
process for animated films
can't
is
believe this.
different than anime.
I cannot believe my mind is like
Dude, do you even know how
struggling.
animated films are made nowadays?
Okay, listen.
If you're talking about 3D animation,
Okay,
it is literally
let's
the
talk
same
about the-
thing
let's
as
talk
doing
ab-
Transformers.
let's talk about the
if you're
outcome.
doing more 2D animation that's cartoon, they don't even draw it. It is what's called, they use
Listen.
vector-based fucking animation,
Evan,
which uses fucking
Evan.
shapes.
Evan, I hear you. Let's talk about the outcome. What let's talk about
What
the
the
outcome.
fuck is different about it? Just because you see humans and don't see humans does not mean
That's
I'm
all
saying
you
there
need.
there are
One world has humans.
Hey.
One world has humans.
You haven't let me say
and
anything.
one world is all
You're cutting me off.
one world is all computer generated.
Can you stop
One world is
cutting me off?
humans, one world is all computer generated.
No, because animated a lot of times is hand drawn.
Okay, hand drawn.
That's different than computer
But
generated.
also a lot of
But here's-
cartoons are hand drawn.
Let me fucking talk.
Okay, talk.
So here's your argument. Your argument that you're laying forth is one has humans, these two do not, thus these are more similar than this one
Yes.
and this one.
Yes.
My argument is yes, these both do not include humans.
Yes.
But that doesn't necessarily mean there's not more overlap between this one and this one. Because there could be other
and-
elements that make this product that are fucking more similar here than
Okay.
this is similar with this one.
and I'm saying
These
there
are
isn't.
we're having two separate arguments here.
No, I'm saying there isn't more overlap between anime and live action than there is anime and cartoon.
I'm saying your only argument is cartoon and animated are no humans. But what
no, I'm not even saying that. I'm
yes,
saying
that's what you're saying.
No, I'm saying they're both no humans, but they also share similar processes. Do they not?
the process for all these things are very similar.
Not
When you go into pre-production's basically
I get it.
identical.
I get it.
When you
I-
have to do all your shot lists, all of that shit,
Evan,
planning production,
I completely
it is
understand.
Similar.
I completely agree. But I'm not. But I'm saying there's processes that these two do.
You know when
that
they do-
live action doesn't.
You know, when you do a fucking storyboard for an actual live action film, it's the exact same as when you do storyboards for animated because you're drawing your fucking
Yes.
storyboards.
But there are there not processes? There's a lot of processes with all this. Are there not processes between these two, anime and cartoon, that do not happen in live action?
In the past they were, but now they're very different because cartoons don't even draw.
I'm making Banshees of Inisherin. There's no CGI, or if there is, it's very minimal, and it's just a camera and the humans. Tell me that has more similarities than an anime and a cartoon.
There are anime that are very fucking supposed to be really fucking realistic.
Exactly, but are they made with a camera and a human, or are they made similar to how cartoons
I'm
are
saying I'm not disagreeing with you on the point, but my whole point I'm making is your argument is these two do not have humans,
That's not
thus
my-
they have
no.
a different production
No.
process. You don't have a camera.
made? No, that's not my only argument. My argument is that these two share similar processes and things that they do. Of course, there's going to be processes that live action and anime, live action and cartoon do it, and all of them do it the same. But these two do more of the same than live action.
I'm telling you.
You tell me that they don't.
I'm telling you what you just said your argument.
Yeah.
Here is what I am saying.
Okay, say it.
Just because these have similar things, which mostly come down to your point of your argument is there's not a human involved and there's not a camera involved.
stop.
That is the majority of what you're saying.
No, but not only that. There's more than not a human in the camera. There's more to that process of creating anime and more to that process of creating
What
cartoons.
I'm trying to tell you is just because these have this group over here and this one have different processes, you're not taking into account that these two nowadays have such drastic processes now.
But I'm not. But I'm
Because
saying
in anime production, most of it is drawn on a Wacom tablet into whatever animated
Yeah,
app they're
sure.
using. Western cartoons don't do that.
Okay, what do? They're drawn
using-
on the computer.
No, they use something called Toon Boom Harmony,
Okay.
which is basically you insert shapes. Like think of Rick and Morty. That is literally what they call puppet animation. It is a different process. You're just seeing animated characters. You're assuming drawn. They don't draw that.
Okay.
It is literally, it's literally
I cannot
shapes
believe
that they
this.
put together.
I cannot
It is
believe this.
different than that.
There's shapes
I'm
put
telling you,
together.
just
They're not
because-
drawing. It's
They're
shapes
not
put together.
drawing.
It's shapes put together.
It's more similar to how you would animate, say, like a Transformer.
But listen.
It is different.
Okay, you're
It's a different
but
process.
listen, you're talking about one type of movie.
I'm talking about what a majority of Western animation is that.
No, I'm listening, but you're talking about one type of
Do you
live
know like
action
fucking
movie.
Legend of Korra or Avatar: The Last Airbender, and they go, oh, it's anime style? Yeah, it's because they go and actually have people animated overseas.
Listen.
But that's an exception to the rule for Western animation.
But you're talking about your argument is with one type of live action movie, which has like tons of CGI in it. If there's a movie that doesn't have CGI in it, they're not doing that process of putting shapes, which is the same thing as drawing. I don't care. You're putting shapes.
No, it is a different thing. It's a different skill set.
Okay, listen.
It's a completely different skill set.
It completely is. It completely is. But it is very similar than drawing.
Because think about Family Guy. Family Guy, they don't animate fucking Family Guy with drawing it.
But
it is puppet animation.
But you
Same
still
thing
have
with
to
The Simpsons.
you still have to create that. You still have to create it. Like you got to create the person. You're not filming a human.
How many films nowadays that are released by Hollywood studios are just camera and people?
A lot.
No, most of them have some level of visual effects being done.
Okay, visual
which
effects
means it requires having a team of people in a computer working on the fucking final image.
But visual effects is not the same thing
doing
as
doing comp. So same thing whenever you're doing any visual effect. Say you're just changing a background in your fucking movie,
Yeah.
changing the sky. That is what's called composition.
Yeah,
You're doing
I
a
know.
comp. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
You do the same thing in anime or anime. Mostly anime. Anime, you'll have your characters and then you'll have designed backgrounds
Yeah.
that you then put on a similar fucking structure that
Okay.
you would whenever you're actually doing backgrounds
what do
whenever
they
you're
do?
comping.
And what do they do with that more?
I'm telling you, I've done comping in
I
Blender,
completely-
and it's a very similar process to how you
completely-
would comp in anime.
I completely see what you're doing. I completely see what you're saying, and I completely agree.
There's-
Now, what do they do more? What do they do that more in?
They don't do that same process the same way. But here's what I'm saying. Oh my Lord. Your whole argument still comes down to the difference. The difference in production is camera and people, whereas this one is being done fully in a computer.
Yes.
I'm still
No, but-
saying that this goes back to your AI conversation in a way. Oh my Lord. Oh, this is so fucking frustrating.
listen.
But again, here is my whole thing. So studying for LSAT, you get really into fucking what's called logical reasoning type section where it basically goes into this type of thing. Just because these two have these things that are more similar,
Does not mean that they're not similar to live action. I completely
that's
see what
what
you're saying.
I'm fucking saying.
I know. I completely I see what you're saying, but I'm saying that these two have more and similar.
Because here's the thing. Because you're saying that, but I'm saying it's a case by case basis.
But I'm saying
Because
but
there are
is
fucking
it?
live action films that have more animation done
Okay,
in them
I'm
than they
talking
have
about
live
overall
action.
in general. Overall in general, with everything.
How could we this goes back to our argument the other day we were having where
my
my
gosh.
experience with
Because-
older people is they stop paying attention to what's current
No.
in music. They become passive. You're
Listen.
like, oh, everyone I already see
No.
around. You need to prove, you basically had to prove to you that this is the numbers.
No, listen.
You would need to do the same thing in this conversation
Listen,
for that.
I'm saying because there are movies, right, where you don't need to do that. That
But
get
I'm
made.
talking about Hollywood films. I'm not talking about
no,
independent
no,
films that get
no,
distribution. I'm talking
no.
about Hollywood
Okay,
fucking
and that's how
studio
you just
produced
changed
it.
the whole concept. I'm talking about how movies are made and how there are.
But that is majority of movies that
stop
get made.
it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it!
I'm not
stop
talking about some fucking film that you make for fucking
See,
$100,000 and it goes to a film festival and does nothing. I'm not
Why?
including all of that.
it. Why?
Because that's a different. You're using different shit.
I'm not.
That's still more. That's still different from say if you're doing a Transformers movie.
But-
the level of fucking understanding of all this shit you have to have.
But doing that and doing the Transformers are going to be more similar than doing
No, they're
anime.
not. Because you have to know how to shoot for fucking visual effects or it looks jank as fuck.
I'm not
That's
saying
what
that-
happens with so many
No,
Marvel movies
I'm
when
not
they have
saying-
horrible visual effects is because the directors come from indie and don't have experience with visual effects.
I'm not saying-
you have to know how to shoot for visual effects.
Evan, I'm not saying they're the same. Of course, they're going to be totally different things. I completely see I completely understand. I completely agree. I'm saying they're going to be similar and overlap more than doing anime or cartoons.
I'm saying it's a case by fucking case basis.
Oh my gosh.
You're trying to throw a broad fucking argument on it.
Oh
I'm
my
saying
gosh.
that you can't throw a broad argument on this because it's case by
If
case.
there are live action movies that rely heavily on animated and CGI work, they're going to be more overlap than if it's a live action.
That's what I'm saying.
But I'm saying that's not all the movies that are happening like that. But I'm saying
most movies that people see nowadays,
what?
that's what I'm talking about.
They're gonna have
tons of visual
No.
effects in it.
I'm saying the most like it relies on it heavily. Like let's say your Transformers, for example, where almost everything will be CGI. That is not most movies. Just stop it. That's not most movies.
I'm talking about Hollywood.
I'm not
movies.
talking. Okay, I'm not talking. Let's talk about
I'm not
Hollywood
including
movies.
any film.
No, that's
I'm not including it.
Listen, let's talk about all movies. Why are we talking about one specific type of movie?
Because you don't have this equivalent in anime.
What do you
You
mean?
don't have indie anime. All of them are made by studios that are backed by big corporations.
Okay, but
So it's more comparable to compare it to a Hollywood system.
why?
Because there's not indie anime because you
okay,
have to have such big teams.
But
and
if it
such
was
big
if it was
production
indie
budget.
anime, would the process be different?
What I'm just saying is it's a different comparison.
No, but if listen,
because
answer,
at the
answer this
base
question.
you're saying different things.
Answer the question. If there was indie anime or indie cartoons, would the process be that totally different than creating an
It'd
anime
be
or creating
one person doing it.
But I'm not talking about the. Just answer the question. Would it be different or would it be similar than creating an anime with a studio?
It would be different in that when you have a studio, you have people specialized in certain parts of the production
Okay,
process.
would they be more different or more similar?
To what?
So if it was an indie anime and there was a studio anime being created, would the process be more different or more similar
To what?
to each other? Would it be more different than each other or would it be more similar to each other? Similar, Evan. It's not a question.
I don't know if I could say similar because typically for those type of things, it's literally they just draw it. They don't
But-
do any additional shit.
But I don't think the process will be just
Because like I'm just thinking about like different music videos where I've seen where they've had one person do all the animation. It's just drawing. There's no composite. There's no doing comps. There's no doing any fancy. There's nothing except for just drawings.
okay. Whenever I say cartoon, anime, drawing, computer generated, it's all something an artist needs to create. It happens in movies, live action movies, of course, with CGI characters like Transformers and all of that. But it's going to happen more.
But then
with
you have the
cartoons,
director of
anime.
photography who's basically doing the same type of shit.
What do you mean?
So you're talking about it has to be generated
No,
by artists.
no, I'm not saying generated by an artist. I'm saying an artist is coming up. I guess generated by an artist, but artist is coming up with the concept, the look of the character, the world, all that. Of course, it happens in
The
live-
artist isn't doing that. That's being done in pre-production by the director.
Okay, director, whatever. A director's
It's
still
the
an
same
artist.
shit with a live action.
direct-
The director is coming up with the look
Yeah,
of the film with the director of
Yeah,
photography.
but it's not.
They
but it's
have
not
the
al-
exact same thing.
But it's not always animated. It's not always computer generated. It's not.
I'm
like-
telling you, you still have the same process of planning things out.
But-
the only difference is when you're on set of a live action film,
Yeah.
you're just shooting with the camera. Whereas whenever you're in an anime studio,
Or a
you're
cartoon.
having people drawing
Or
it.
a cartoon. Yes.
You're just saying, okay, so you're
No.
saying one phase is different.
But I'm saying.
You're saying one phase is different.
No, but I'm
And
saying.
you're saying, oh, there's way less similar because this one phase is different than this.
So the process is between.
This is the dumbest argument we've ever had.
No, it's
because
not.
we're going in circles.
because you're not saying what I'm saying.
You're not saying what I'm saying.
Listen,
We're having two different arguments
I
right
understand
now.
what you're saying. You're saying that there's similarities between cartoon and live action, also anime and live action, and those two can be the same or different or whatever.
Depending
with
on the
any- And I'm
circumstance.
saying that the anime and cartoon will share more similarities than anime and live action or cartoon and live action, and a lot of it has to
I'm
do.
still saying it's case by case. When you're going in generalities, it's so frustrating because it's just you're stuck on this whole thing of going to generalities, and I'm just like, you can't really compare.
the mediums.
This
the,
is apples to oranges right now,
the medium.
motherfucker.
The mediums. Okay, podcast, podcast, writing books. Okay, never mind. That's different.
That's completely different.
Okay, let's say making music and podcasts. Okay, it's
it's
different.
completely different.
I mean, of course it's different because anime and live action is different. But they share similarities just like podcasts. And
No, you don't.
you don't have similarities with podcasts and music. Stop it.
The only thing would
Stop
be
it.
fucking
Stop it.
processing
Stop
vocals.
it.
That's it.
Okay, that's a big part.
Tell me
That's-
what's the
that's a big-
same. What's that? What else the same?
What you just said, EQing, processing, recording mics,
Okay, that's the very fucking last
speaking,
part.
talking. That's what I'm saying.
Music,
But
you don't talk. And you have the whole additional fucking thing of actually composing the music.
you don't talk.
You don't talk in music. You fucking sing or rap. The amount of times only
Evan.
people just talk, that's so fucking
Evan.
small. The amount of time they sing.
Oh, okay,
This
singing,
isn't Bobby Caldwell.
singing, talking, rapping. You're using your vocals. You're vocalizing stuff. Are you not?
Okay, and?
Okay, I'm saying that's
But
similarity.
you're missing the massive part that the entire thing of music is built on is music theory. You don't have the same thing for podcasts.
Evan, I'm not saying they're the same.
Oh, my Lord.
Man, why do you keep saying they're the same? Of course, they have differences. Just
That I don't think that's a fair comparison.
I'm not finished with my comparison. God damn it.
You're just talking about, oh, you talk on a podcast and you make noises with your voice on music.
I was describing two things you do that are similar, and then you interrupt me saying, "What's similar about it? What's different?" I'm like, "Let me finish."
well, then
first.
tell me.
I forgot what I was going to say because you making these arguments. I'm like, just wait.
Because I can see where you're going.
Okay, making music, podcast. To me, is going to be similar or the same as. I got to think about this argument because I'm coming up with it at the top of my head. I would say. See, I wouldn't say that. Because I was going to say anime and cartoons, but I feel like cartoons and anime are more similar than podcasts and music, making music. I can't believe we're arguing this, Evan. I cannot believe it. I can't believe
This is the dumbest argument.
I can't believe you don't think anime and cartoon are not similar mediums than live action movies.
What I'm trying to say is the case by fucking case basis.
I don't understand that at all.
Because in most 2D animation done in America, there's not even 3D fucking elements to the shit. It's all flat plain
I feel
shit.
like cartoon is just the Western anime.
Different things. As I said, there's a different production. There
are similar mediums. It's like
your whole point for them being similar mediums is humans, not humans.
Computer generated medium. Yes. And back in the day, it was hand drawing mediums. Yes. Compared to
if you're making the argument of, say, back in the day before computers, then I would agree with you. But the problem is nowadays their production have diverged in different directions.
Okay.
Because it's just one of those things when you look at the history of animation, whenever computers became evolved, it's split into different ways. So, it's like the way you would process things is completely different.
Anime and cartoons have
because Toon Boom, like if you work in animation, Toon Boom Harmony, which is the main thing they use in the West, is completely different process, completely different workflow than if you're actually working with drawing animations like in an anime studio. That's what I'm trying to say is just because you see an end product and not see humans, the process is different for both. Even whenever you do even when you record, like do the dialogue in an animated show, in the West, you actually record the dialogue first and then the animation is done afterwards. In anime, they do that backwards. They do the drawing and then later on, the actual voice actors come in and do it. It's a different process.
The argument starting off anyways for me was the outcome anyway. It wasn't necessarily about the process. The outcome of the medium are similar than live action. If we're talking about
full on outcome, well, again, it's still to a degree is still case by case because of certain films rely so much on CG. But if we're talking about in general final product, I could see why you say that because they're both don't have humans. But
why do you put humans like that? Why do you say that?
Because it's a part of it just comes down to because there's an elitist view towards animation in the West. Is one of my big reasons.
But listen, I'm not mad at any of that. I'm saying that's what makes cartoons and anime great to me because they don't have the live action human look. And that's why I think they're more similar than live action. And that's why they're separate. That's why there's different audiences for both.
Well, here's the thing is our argument before was regarding process. Now you're changing it to end result.
I think you made it process and and we can still argue about that because I'm
saying the process, a lot of the process, like when you're in the actual production where you're shooting a film, obviously it's going to be different. But what I'm saying is like the overall full-on process to anime production versus like Western cartoon production have a little bit more in common when it comes to the overall how you plan things out, the different steps you have involved in post-production is very much similar to live action, whereas in cartoons, you don't have that same post-production process.
Okay, so you kind of made it process, and I can still argue about that because I'm not really sold that anime and live action has the same similar process than anime and cartoon. But we don't have to talk about that.
I'm specifically talking about pre-production, post-production, very fucking similar.
Okay,
especially nowadays.
But you see how you're pick and choose like the arguments when we like continue. Now it's pre-production, post-production. You were talking about the process.
We were talking about it in general, the whole thing. I'm talking. So what I'm.
No, we don't have to argue. We don't have to argue. We don't have to argue because we run out of circles, and I'm still not 100% sold that anime and cartoon don't have similar processes than anime and live action or cartoon live action. But we're speaking in circles, and you made your argument. I don't agree. You haven't made any compelling arguments that there.
You haven't made any compelling shit to me either.
Okay, but now we're talking about like the outcome of how people will view it, because that's where I started off from. That's why we were talking about why Rick and Morty will be a good live action.
You mean anime
or anime. Yeah,
That'd be shit live action.
yeah, shit live action. And that's why I think it's similar. But I think it's gonna be a good anime because I feel like cartoon and anime are similar, and it will be easy to adapt, even though there are differences, of course, artistically, everything. I think it'll be easier to adapt a cartoon to an anime than a cartoon to a live action or anime to a live action. I will stand on that, and I think that the outcome of anime and cartoon are more similar than the outcome of a live action.
That wasn't your argument at first.
And I was trying
You
to
were
make,
talking about it in general.
no, in general, I still believe that, but since we are
Since you concluded your argument, let me conclude mine.
okay, concluded.
In conclusion, when it comes to comparing the overall between live action, Western animation, and anime, my argument is there is more in common between live action and anime production than you expect.
I don't know.
As someone who's actually looked into
I
all
agree.
the shit,
I agree.
the middle part of production where you're actually shooting the film and you're actually doing the animation for anime, this phase of production is a majority of what's part of cartoon production.
Mm-hmm.
It's just cartoon production has a little bit of pre-production, has the actual doing it, and then they're basically done.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas with live action and anime, they have very similar pre-production phases. Obviously, the production part changes, and the post-production is very fucking similar when it comes to all the steps that they have involved regarding color passes, the way they do audio, having composers come in and compose all the music, having.
So what do cartoons do with their audio?
So they'll have people do mixed audio, but I'm just telling. I'm finished all my
Okay.
all my points. Fuck, I already forgot now. God damn it.
Post production, audio.
Yeah, they'll have
voice actors.
actually have someone come in and actually cut it. They'll have I'm going to include voice actors and stuff in regular production. I'm just going to throw that in there. Fuck, I don't know where I was going now. God damn it.
What anime does in post production.
Huh? Yeah, okay, I'll throw it in here. So, I mean, that's similar to doing ADR.
But what does
Love the
cartoon do in post production?
They basically just cut it together because part of their production is like planning how much you're going to do of everything. And it's very it's very step by step on that regarding like, okay, here's our scripts. This is what we need. Boom, just that. Drop it into a timeline. Drop this into a timeline. Drop this into a timeline. And then have actually the voice actors come in now. Well, actually, they actually do it first. Sorry, I'm getting all confused now. So yeah, once they have it planned out, they'll have the voice actors come in, read all the scripts. Then from there, now that they have that, they then plan out the shots they're going to do. Then they actually have their artists use Tune Boom Harmony to then put all the shapes in, move how they want to do it for whatever joke or whatever thing they're doing. Then once they're done with that, they will render out that section, place it into the timeline where it's supposed to go, corresponding with whatever they planned out, and then render it. They might do one little color pass. They'll have someone come in and mix the audio, might throw in some music. A lot of Western cartoons don't throw that much music. They kind of keep reusing the same music. Think of like Family Guy and The Simpsons. They reuse the same musical things a lot.
So this is the same process that anime shares.
Well, no, what I'm saying is the actual, I guess, actually making it in the computer.
Like actually making it,
Yeah.
not the post.
If you wanna
not
just
the
go-
pre-production or post-production, just
Yeah,
like the
so
actual.
pre-production is very similar when it comes to how they plan out their sequences and how they plan out like storyboards and all that, because in anime, they actually treat it like it's 3D.
Mhm.
So whereas 2D Western cartoons, for the most part, treat it like it's just 2D, because Western cartoons are just about pumping out. So they'll actually plan everything out, plan out all the animation and such. Then, like, if they're doing fight, they'll start choreographing all the shit. And then they'll actually have the process of doing the animation. And then they'll have their extensive post-production where it comes to, okay, now we have that. Now that we have our animation finalized, then we'll have to have our color pass. We're going to have all of our sound effects done. We have to have someone do all the different comps when it comes to our backgrounds. Like, they'll have someone separately do all the background shit. A lot of times they'll use a lot of 3D involved now. If there's any like particle effects, they'll bring those in the same way you would do with like CG. They use a lot of 3D CG shit nowadays.
Okay,
So that's why I'm saying the post-production is actually very similar now.
sure.
So, I forgot where I was going. God damn it. So basically what I'm trying to say is the middle part of production is similar between cartoons and anime. the pre and pro is more similar to me between anime and live action than the pre and pro would be for cartoons and anime. That's the big thing I'm trying to say is if you want to go the finished product, obviously these are animated characters, I guess the way to put it. So if your whole argument is, hey, they're animated characters, they're more similar to live action. And it's like, well, yeah, they're not humans, they're fucking drawings or computer generate, if you want to say that. But again, there's also like different types of anime where they go for more realistic looks or realistic like movements, and they don't have like crazy shit going on. So those might have, except for the fact that they're drawings, they may have some more similar things to like a feel of a live action, even though they're drawings. But yeah, if your whole argument is just based on the end result, then yeah.
I mean,
but then also, again, my whole point is like, it kind of depends on what stuff you're comparing.
I guess I'm still not sold because
Well, look at fucking Marvel. How many of those characters aren't even fucking actual people? It's somebody wearing a suit and then they go and fucking animate a character on top of them.
Yeah, you're talking about one specific type of movie.
I know, but that's what I'm trying to say is it's just case by case, like where some of them will have a lot more.
So there's case by case.
shit.
There's case by case.
We're not going back through this.
I know, but I'm
We've already
saying
done
there's
this.
case by case in every single argument ever in history.
I know, that's what I'm doing.
But why?
Because it is.
Of course, you can say that with
Because we're talking about
everything.
generalities. I don't feel like generalizing this conversation.
Okay.
I only generalize when I feel like it.
Okay. Okay.
You know what this podcast is?
Yeah.
So what if it's convenient to me? Because I can edit this shit and make it sound like I'm 100% right. I can just edit out your entire point. I have power.
Okay. We'll see. We'll see about that, sir.
Got anything else?
No.
I did have something, but
No, let's talk about it. What?